Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to WWE Discussion. In today's episode, I'm going to discuss the August 8th edition of NXT, which promised a big night including a major title match, an unofficial championship opportunity, and big names in action. Dominic Mysterio would defend his North American Championship against Dragon Lee. Noam Dar put his unsanctioned Heritage Cup on the line against Tyler Bate. Mustafa Ali and Axiom both wanted the next shot at the North American Championship and would fight to determine who got next. This show had a chance to blow many people away, showcasing some of the best talent in the company. And with that, we're going to get into the action starting with
Mustafa Ali versus Axiom, and after the match, Ali would call his shot, Ali would pick up the win, Ali has got next. So even without a strong story, Axiom and Ali went out and delivered in the opener. Thankfully, Scripps did not get fully involved, and he just kind of showed up and then disappeared, and which allowed these two to sell their work in the ring. Ali has done a great job selling himself as a veteran who is unafraid to take a shortcut without losing the crowd. He's one of the more popular stars in NXT. Even after taking a cheap shot here to win, he will do well as the next challenger for the North American title, as he has proved time and again that he can deliver when the spotlight is given. And, that's no discredit to Axiom. He can do the same as well, but he's got to finish things with Scripps before he can move on to championship gold. And then you have the quote-unquote Heritage Cup match, Noam Dar versus Tyler Bate, and few men understand the rounds format like Dar and Bate, as both are former Heritage Cup champions, and they showed how good their understanding is in a wild 5-round bout with plenty of twists and turns. Bate started strong and began to wear out, whereas Dar, he got stronger and more confident as the match went along. However, in the end, he simply got too cocky for his own good and lost his Heritage Cup once again. And certainly this kind of complicated Heritage Cup scene, although NXT kind of cleared that one up, as Noam Dar will take on Nathan Frazier for the real Heritage Cup at Heatwave, and then you can imagine Tyler Bate, by the looks of things, it sounds like he's got next, so I guess good on NXT for kind of clearing that up and not letting that one kind of just drag on, if you will. And then next up, Trick Williams challenges Ethan Dragunov to a match at NXT Heatwave, and this is a huge match for Trick. I don't want to quite say make or break, but it could be make or break. And Trick has an aura in the way that he presents himself that makes him feel like a big deal. He's clearly a star in the making, and this match with Dragunov should be the first step in helping him stand out away from Carmelo Hayes. And while Trick has always been better at talking than competing, he has shown growth as an in-ring performer throughout each performance, and this could be the match where he shows what he can do in the ring, shows that he can hang with one of the best. The Mad Dragon can also use this match to make a case, make a statement for another NXT or an NXT title match. And honestly, if NXT wants to do Melo vs. Dragon 2, that's a money matchup. I mean, the first one was great. I don't know if they'll be able to top it, but still a money matchup. And then the show concludes with an NXT North American title match, Dominic Mysterio versus Dragon Lee. And WWE has had Dirty Dom working overtime lately, and it's been paying off. He gets better with each big match, and while Dragon Lee certainly assisted him here, Dom looked like more of a true champion than he ever has so far. At NXT, he's been working main event angles with rising stars to help elevate them and himself. Dragon got his biggest match in NXT yet, and even though he lost, this might not be the end of the story for both men. It also looks like Ripley versus Valkyria is not over. NXT is going to circle back to that one, which is great for the Valkyrie. I don't know if this will get her a title match on Monday Night Raw, but it could get her a title match on Monday Night Raw. But regardless of where she gets the title match, Raw or NXT, her credibility will be further enhanced by that title match. And honestly, she's a good opponent for Ripley. She doesn't really done much with the women's world title since her last title defense, whatever that was. I don't actually remember when it was, so I guess this is a good first opponent to get Ripley back to defending the title. So in conclusion, well, nothing on this show was truly momentous. This was a better showcase of the roster than whatever last week was trying to be, or whatever last week was. From the opener to the main events, everyone was putting in the work. Ali versus Axiom, probably match of the night, although you could also make the same argument for Dar versus Bate and Mysterio versus Lee. Stories have kicked off for Heatwave, and so far the card is looking good. Momentum is propelling the brand forward again. You got Dragunov versus Williams, Frazier versus Starr for the Heritage Cup, Judgment Day, Dirty Dom, Rhea Ripley continue to bring more eyes to the product. It is important right now with Heatwave coming up and No Mercy at the end of September that the product is on a hot streak and worth watching each week. And it's not going to be every week, but this show certainly did that without delivering anything that can be done again the next week. So rough week last week, bounce back this week. Heatwave card, as you can see, it's looking good. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode of WWE Discussion. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that like button down below.